guys, my name is Bobby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am taking a page out of Vicky's book and I'm going to tell you all about some of my favorite booktubers. I did originally have a vlog filmed, like I had roughly about 45 minutes to an hour worth of footage, just talking about what I had read the previous week. I finished 2 books, the only 2 books I finished this month so far, and we are 15 days in. I had a major book hangover from one of them, but I didn't feel like the vlog had enough in it. Like, it was just me rambling most of the time. I talked about both books. I talked about what I liked about them. And then after that, it was just a lot of rambling. I had a kind of a bad day in there, so there was a lot of anxiety and more bad day stuff. It was just, I just didn't like it. So I ended up trashing all the footage, and you're getting this instead. So I have done one of these before. I did this, I think, right after I started my channel. I've been on YouTube for almost 2 years now. In August, it will be 2 years. So I'm almost 2 years in. But after watching Vicky do it again, I was like, you know what? I need to update this. I found a lot of other people. Though now that I think about it, and after I made my list, most of mine are bigger and white. So if you have suggestions for some really good ones, and I'm not just saying black, like Asian does not matter, any ethnicity, please let me know. All of my favorites are white and female. So if you could give me any of your favorite male or people of color booktubers, I'd much appreciate it, because looking at my list, it is very female and very white. Okay, so let's get started on all of my favorite booktubers. Now, these are in no particular order. I literally went through my sub list because I watch on my TV. So I watch on my Kindle Fire. So I have my YouTube app. So then I just go in there, and they're in alphabetical order. So these are in alphabetical order. They're not in order of like favorite to least favorite or whatever. And there are 27 of them. I will try not to talk super long because I've already been filming for 5 minutes. So we're gonna get this show on the road. This is gonna be a pain in editing. Sorry, editing me, but I'm going to try to link every single one of these people in the description. So if you want to go check them out, just click on the link in the description and you can go check them out for yourselves. Some of these are pretty big. In fact, most of them are big now that I'm looking at it. Bigger, but some are a little bit on the smaller, bigger side. To me, they're big, but to me, anybody over 1,000 is big. So I don't know. Some of these people are really, really big. And they're just who I like. I just like them. So we'll see. I do have a couple. There are smaller ones that I watch, but these are the people that I tend to watch every single one of their videos. So let's get started, because I've been rambling too much and justifying why I like what I like. But first is Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany. She is in New York. She is a plus size woman who is married to a black man. So she is very much into books about race and being biracial, because she has 2 biracial children, of course, and about what it means to be in a biracial relationship and all that kind of stuff. She reads a lot of stuff like that. So if you need good recommendations on stuff like that, she reads a lot of nonfiction about that. But Bethany is insane with how much she reads. That girl reads anywhere from 17 to 30 books a month. She reads an insane amount. She listens to a lot of audiobooks, and she reads the spectrum. She's really into romance right now, but she reads romance, fantasy, she reads sci-fi, she reads contemporary, she reads everything. Thrillers. About the only thing she doesn't really read is historical fiction. But other than that, the girl reads just about anything. So, and I like her because I like her reviews, and I like her rating system. She has a 6-star rating system. So anything for her that gets 6 stars is either best of the year or best of all time for her. So she has like a 1 through 5, and she does half stars. I just really enjoy her reviews, and I like that she's a mom, and she's really, you know, nerdy and stuff too. I just really enjoy Bethany. Next is Becca over at Becca in the Books. Becca is from the UK. I absolutely adore Becca. What I find interesting is most of the booktubers that I've connected with, other than Vicky, are in the UK, which makes it hard for me because you can't really text your friends in the UK. I mean, you kind of can. There are apps for that. But, you know, and we're 8 hours apart. So I'm 8 hours behind all of them. So it makes it really hard to do anything with them as far as like buddy reading or anything like that. But Becca lives in the UK. She's the one that created Becca's Bookopoly. So she has a fun Monopoly game that she plays to get her TBR every month, which is hilarious and fun to watch. It's never nice to her. But Becca reads pretty much the gamut. She really loves fantasy. She does do YA and adult. Right now she's kind of doing getting into some of the paranormal romance like books that are like old school. I think she's reading a series right now that's like from the 80s or 90s just for fun. But I really like her vlogs. She does vlogs every single week, and they've been going up for well over a year, every week on the dot. Becca is very, very organized in how she does things. Like, she puts out 3 videos a week, never fails. She is a type A Slytherin 100%. She also has a candle making company. I own quite a few of them. They were worth it to get it shipped from the UK. They're really, really yummy. graceandhoney.net. Absolutely love Becca. For being in her mid-20s, she seems to be wise beyond her years with stuff that she's gone through in her life and just how she is. Absolutely adore Becca. Next is Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. Jade is a part of now she's part of the Booktube SFF Awards. So she reads predominantly science fiction and fantasy. She's a huge Sanderson fan. Jade is I love her background. I think she sits on the floor in her room, and she's got like a dresser, but she's got this almost like a marquee sign that says I'm currently reading, and whatever book she's currently reading is in the background of all of her videos. I love that concept. I think it's a great idea. But Jade is very eloquent with her reviews. She's she reminds me a lot of a newscaster watching her, just the way she's very calm. She speaks very eloquently, very clearly. You can understand everything she's saying. But she's really big into fantasy, but she kind of reads a little bit all over, but fantasy and sci-fi are her 2 biggest genres that she likes. And I really enjoy listening to Jade talk. She's got a lot, she's got one of those voices that is just really soothing and fun to listen to, and I really enjoy watching Jade. Next is G from Book Roast. G is the creator. She's from the UK. She lives in Scotland, but Codie told me, I can't remember, she came from another country as well. So lives in Scotland. She's from Europe, and she is awesome. She's the one that created the Owls Magical Readathon and the Newts. She does it every year. So we just did the Owls in April, and the Newts will be in August. She is insanely creative, that girl. She loves everything Harry Potter. If you want any Harry Potter content, G is the one to go to. And the readathons, God. And she works for Fairy Loot too, I believe. But G has a lot of Harry Potter content if you love Harry Potter. Next is Brittany from Books with Brittany. Brittany is a smaller booktuber. She's a huge fantasy reader. Brittany reads a lot of big, thick fantasy. She's also really fit into fitness. In her vlogs, you see her working out constantly. I think in the last one she had mentioned that she used to be a bodybuilder at one point. So she doesn't do that anymore, but she's still kind of trying to keep in the same kind of training mode because she's not bulking up. So I don't know if it's just the same cardio and stretching and stuff that they do that she's also doing. But there is a lot of exercise in her videos, but she reads a lot. And so she reads ebooks or listens to audiobooks when she's exercising. And she reads a lot of big fantasy. And she does reviews. She does a lot of reviews on some of the epic fantasy that a lot of other people don't want to touch when it comes to reviews. But I really enjoy Brittany, and her cats are beautiful. Next is one that everybody knows, and that's Kayla from Books and Lala. Don't really have to say much about her. She is our queen. Which is funny because she's not the one who started BookTube, but she's the queen now. She has overtaken us. I believe she has somewhere like 70 or 80,000 subscribers. Kayla's our queen. All hail Kayla. But I love Kayla for many different reasons. She is one of the most creative people I've ever seen. The secret TBRs and crazy challenges she comes up with are just so much fun to watch. If you're new to watching Books and Lala, my suggestion is to go on her channel, go into her playlist, and go down to her Closet Unhaul series. She did it for 1 year. I think it was like 2016 or 2017, and she refused to keep it going, which really bummed me out. But I can understand why she did it. I mean, and the Closet Unhaul was kind of the start of her doing her secret TBR shit. That's kind of the catalyst that started it all. And then after that, she changed everything and just did it, picked all these other different things to do. But the Closet Unhaul is what started it all. And I think I've rewatched that set of videos like 3 or 4 times because it's hilarious. So the whole concept behind it was, in the month of January is when she started it, I believe, that she would go back to when she first started BookTube, which I think was like in 2015 or something like that. So she went back to her first haul, her January book haul, and went through every single book she hauled and marked if she read it, DNF'd it, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like what people do when they do book haul revisits now, and they go, oh, well, I'm going to put one of these on my TBR for next month. No, Kayla is the one that started this, but she took it to the utmost extreme. Every single book that was on that haul that she had not read was her TBR for that month. So I think she did it in December. So in December she watched her book haul for January of 2 years prior, and that was her TBR for January. And she had to read it. Everything, and then after she read them, she could choose to either keep them or unhaul them. Anything she did not read, she had to get rid of. She had to unhaul, and she could have one save a month. And she did it for an entire year. And it was insane. I mean, she read other things in between because some months she only had 1 or 2 things to read or whatever. But it is so hilarious watching her react to these videos and realizing what she's going to have to read because her reading taste had changed so much in 2 years. It was hilarious. Like, if you're new to Lala or you've never watched those, I highly encourage you to go watch her playlist, her closet unhaul. It is absolutely hilarious and one of my favorite things. Next is Emily from Books with Emily Fox. Emily is Canadian. She's a French Canadian. So she's got a little bit of an accent. She's gorgeous. She also has another channel, which is Beauty by Emily. So she does a beauty channel as well. But she's recently said that she hasn't really posted on there as much, and she much prefers her book channel. Emily is really big into fantasy and sci-fi. You can probably see a theme here. But Emily really loves fantasy and sci-fi, and she likes big, thick, chunky fantasy and sci-fi stories. And I just like watching her because she's really funny. She's got this snow globe behind her that's got her picture in it that I think a subscriber made for her. And so she talks to it all the time. Her camera likes to try to focus on that instead of her because it's another face, and it's hilarious. And so, you know, she just makes a joke out of it. It's like a running joke on her channel. But if you really want some good fantasy or sci-fi recs, Emily's one to definitely check out. Next is Chandler from Chandler Ainsley. I love Chan. Now, Chan doesn't read anything that I enjoy. She is a predominantly about 90% romance or erotica reader. She loves adult romance, period. She reads a lot of erotica too, but mostly it's adult romances. She does read a little bit of fantasy. She's kind of dabbling in thrillers a little bit, but I really like Chandler. She listens to a lot of her books on audio. She's almost strictly an audiobook user, though she does physically read from time and again, but she reads a ton of books a month, and it's because of all her audiobook listening. And she just did this one video. It's like a choose your own adventure where she starts with 2 books. She reads them both, and then you have to decide which one she likes best. And at the end of the video, it'll say, did she like this one or this one? And then inside like the video, you click on it, and then it'll take you to the next one to see whether or not you got it right or not. And it goes all the way through. And there was like 10 books. It was so fun, and it was such a cool concept. She also does taste test TBRs, where she does a taste test of some of her favorite booktubers' favorite books, and she vlogs her time reading it. She does it usually over a month, I think, sometimes a week. She's a very fast reader. But then she does a taste test to kind of see where her tastes align with some of her favorite booktubers. She's done Emma Books, Books and Lala, Peruse Project, and Gabby Reads, I think. She did all of those, and it was really fun to watch. I even like watching her books when she talks about like the romances she reads, even though I am not a fan of romance and I don't read them, because I like her. I find her really entertaining and I like watching her. Next is Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads. Chelsea is one of the original booktubers that I found when I first found Booktube. Chelsea and I also don't read anything alike. Chelsea is a hardcore contemporary reader. Sometimes she'll read some thrillers, but that's about it. She doesn't read fantasy. She doesn't read sci-fi. Chelsea is 100% a contemporary reader. The only reason I follow Chelsea is because I love her personality. Plain and simple. I think she's really fun. I think she's bubbly. I love her cats. I love her relationship with her boyfriend Aldo. Like, I just like Chelsea. I just like her as a person. She seems like she would be really fun to go get a drink with. Like, I just like Chelsea. Even though her and our reading tastes do not line up, I just love watching her. Next is my bae, Codie from Codie's Book Corner. Codie and I connected I started watching her videos when she was rather small, and I just really liked her. I thought she was beautiful. I love her voice. Codie lives in Scotland. She's a Brit living in Scotland. I absolutely just loved her, and I liked her taste in books. Codie is a fantasy reader, but she does dabble in sci-fi, contemporary. She kind of reads the whole gamut. She does read a couple odd things here and there that a lot of people on Booktube don't read. So it's a lot of fun when she gets those into her TBR. Codie also has a fun TBR game called Wheel of TBR, where she spins the wheel and it gives her a prompt, and then she picks a book based on that prompt. I really enjoy it. I think I started watching her right when she started her wheel. Either way, when I started watching her, she was relatively small still. And so her and I connected, started commenting on her videos, and then we started emailing, and then we communicate through social media, usually either Twitter or Instagram, because we, again, live in different countries. But I absolutely adore Codie. She's very open about her anxiety. So her anxiety, mental health issues that she's had, she's very open about them. And sometimes she won't post for a couple weeks because of that. But I love that she's so open about it. I love her opinions on books. Her and I have a lot of the similar tastes. And we keep sending books back and forth to each other forever. I think that's just how it's going to be. I've sent her quite a few books. She just received one that I sent her. I also pre-ordered Southern Book Club for her by Grady Hendrix, which should be coming hopefully soon. I don't know, it's doing the same thing in the UK that it did in the US. It's like, oh, it's sold out, but when I pre-ordered it, there was copies, so she better get one soon. But she just sent me the Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. That just showed up on my doorstep 2 days ago. And she warned me that I had 2 books coming, so there's another one. She said both are intimidating and both are on opposite sides of the spectrum. So when I was looking at my wish list, I was pretty damn sure she picked Way of Kings just because she loves Sanderson so much. And the other one, I'm pretty sure, my guess would be, I don't know for sure, my guess would be the other one she got me is A Little Life by, how do you say the author's name? Hanya Yagatahara, I think. I don't have it in front of me, but that's my guess, because they're both huge, they're both intimidating, I'm pretty sure. But we'll have to wait and see when it magically shows up in the door. But I absolutely adore Codie. If you haven't checked her out, she also vlogs just about every week, and she's just really fun to watch. I love her cats, Bella and Tiberius. They are so adorable. Oh my god, I need to move faster. Next is Gabby from Gabby Reads. Gabby is younger. She's like in her very early 20s. Gabby loves thrillers. She does dabble in romance some, but she loves thriller and will read some horror. She's kind of getting on a Stephen King kick right now, so she's starting to read a little bit more of him and doing reading vlogs dedicated to whichever book of his she's reading. She just read Nosferatu by Joe Hill. She didn't really care for it much, but she did a full reading vlog for Pet Sematary, The Shining. I thought there was one other one she did. She hasn't read it yet, but there is a couple, and she has done a couple reading vlogs based around the Stephen King books that she's starting to read. And again, lots of thrillers. She does read a little bit of contemporary now and again, and contemporary romance, but thriller seems to be Gabby's jam. Gabby is the only booktuber I know who lives fairly close to me. We've never met. We're not friends or anything. I'm a lot older than she is. I think I'm at least 10 years older, maybe 9 years older than her. But Gabby lives about not even a half an hour from me, more like about 25 to 30 minutes. And it was funny, I know exactly the city she lives in. I've been there multiple times. It's not very far from where I am. But it was funny, I was watching one of her vlogs, and her sister were leaving their apartment, and I text one of my best friends who also lives in the same city Gabby does, and I'm pretty damn sure they live in the same building. Because I've been there to go visit my friend, and I was like going, pretty sure one of this booktuber I watch lives in the same building as you. Swear I'm not stalking Gabby. It was funny. It's because we live in the same area. So it was just hilarious. But I love watching Gabby. She's got a really bubbly, very big personality. She's very outgoing, very bubbly. Her vlogs are really fun to watch. She does month-long vlogs. So at the end of each month, it's about an hour long, and it goes through the whole span of the month, which is a really cool idea. But I do love watching Gabby, and she has her sister in there a lot, and her parents, and it's just a lot of fun to watch Gabby. Next is April from Getting Hugga With It. April is a lot like me, where she's one of us elderly booktubers. No offense, April, Sarah, Vicky. Us women who are booktubers who are like, 35 and older. We're not in our mid-20s anymore. But April is really into thrillers and historical fiction and horror. I think I found her originally because she was reading some horror. But April just had a baby, so she does talk about her a lot. And, she has documented her journey with getting pregnant with her husband and stuff on her channel and stuff like that. And April is one of those ones that's she's very soft-spoken. You just feel like you're sitting there with her having a cup of coffee and just talking to her. She's very calming, and it's very nice to listen to April. She's just very, very calming and makes you feel just right at home and cozy and stuff like that. And she's got some really good book recommendations. I read Bird Box a couple years ago because of April. Next is Allie from Hardback Hoarder. I love Allie. Allie is somebody I would love to get drunk with. Allie is crazy, kooky. She wears a lot of wigs. She plays with her makeup a lot. She just bought a house like 6 or 7 months ago, and she built her dream library with an actual like Belle from Beauty and the Beast like ladder that goes across her bookcase. It's so cool. But Allie is really hilarious. She makes fun of herself a lot. Like when she messes up in her videos, a lot of times she doesn't edit it out. She just keeps making fun of herself. But Allie reads a lot of YA. She is dabbling more into adult books, but she does read a lot of YA fantasy, and her reading lately has been kind of all over. Usually it was just very much YA fantasy was her jam. Very much so. But she's also a librarian, so you'll just see random stuff here and there. She went through a plant phase where she was reading a whole bunch of plant books and stuff. I love Allie because she's funny. She makes me laugh constantly. And even sometimes, though our tastes don't align, I just like watching her because she makes me laugh. Next is Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. I love Gav. Gav is a middle grade. He's like the middle grade king. He's a middle grade aficionado. Gav works at Waterstones in the UK, and he like is their lead middle grade salesman. So that's all he does is like children's literature. So he reads a ton of middle grade. He created his own middle grade readathon called Believeathon, which I believe is going on right now. This is the second round of it, but he goes all out, like kind of like G did for the owls, like made pamphlets and booklets and stuff like that with maps and all this stuff. But he is huge, huge, huge. If you like middle grade at all, you need to go to Gav. Gav has every middle grade recommendation you could possibly want. He does read other things as well, but middle grade is his jam. He's also one of the most hilarious human beings in the entire world. If you watch some of his Al Crate Jr. unboxings, he dresses up. One time he dressed up as Velma from Scooby-Doo. He dressed up as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I think he dressed up as Kim Possible once. Hilarious. Gav is absolutely hysterical. Also another UK booktuber, but just go watch Gav just to be able to laugh. He is so funny, and his reviews are hilarious. He did a review that I'm sure has gotten a lot of dislikes, but it was for Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Abertali. He hated it, and he's a gay man, so to me that's own voices reviewing a story about a gay boy. So, and he hated it, and all of his reasons for why he hated it are very valid, and I really enjoyed watching that review. So please go check Gav out. He is hilarious. He's always good for a laugh. Next is Jess from Jess Nevertheless. I absolutely adore Jess. I found her because of horror as well. When I first found her, she was really reading a lot of Stephen King. Jess also reads a lot of fantasy, some sci-fi. She's getting into some contemporary now and some contemporary romance. Jess also deals with anxiety, and she's very open about that with her subscribers and talks about it often. But I really enjoy listening to Jess. Like her opinions, they just make sense, and she's not like a shove it down your throat. It's just kind of like, this is how it is. This is how I feel, and take it or leave it. This is how I am, and I really, really love her for that. She's also very tattooed, which I also enjoy because so am I. But Jess is from Ohio, I believe. But I absolutely adore her. She's really fun to watch. Next is Samantha Leighanne from Leighanne's Lit. Samantha Leighanne is a horror girl. Like, if you love horror and you have not found Sam yet, you really need to. She does a Stephen King, kind of like how Natasha was doing for My Reading is Odd. Also love her. I didn't put her on this list because Natasha hasn't been posting lately because of everything going on. She's been having some anxiety. But Samantha Leighanne also does, what does she call them? Stephen King Sundays, where she's also reading the books in publication order like Natasha was, and doing a review on the book that is just on that book every Sunday. She's getting back into it now. She kind of took a break for a bit. But Sam reads a lot of horror, and so you can get a lot of good indie horror recommendations from Samantha Leighanne. I absolutely adore her. I've interacted with her quite a bit on Twitter. She's really fun. Just kind of like one of those girls, like the I don't give a fuck, that she just is how she is. She's from the South. I believe she's from South Carolina. So it's really fun listening to Sam, and I've got some really good horror recommendations because of her. Next is Leighanne from Literary Diversions. Absolutely love Leighanne. Leighanne sends me a Christmas card every year from Scotland, which totally makes my day. Leighanne is a great place to go if you need crime fiction recommendation. She does read some, I don't think she does read some horror, but she reads a lot of thrillers, a lot of crime fiction, a lot of nonfiction surrounding true crime and stuff like that. She also reads a lot of fantasy, but she hasn't lately. But she does have a lot of fantasy and stuff on her shelves. She's pretty eclectic in her reading, but right now it's very much crime fiction and thrillers and stuff like that. She also is married to her lovely wife, Helen, which that's just what we call her, lovely wife, Helen. And so she's on there now and again. She never used to be, but now she pops in now and again to help, and she's so cute. Those two together are so fucking adorable. They are so couple goals. It's so funny watching them when they're together, because Leighanne will be talking to the camera or whatever, and you can see Helen looking at her, and they are so, so in love. It is so amazing to watch. I love seeing them together. They are so fucking cute. So fucking cute. I love watching the videos, her videos, especially when Helen's in them. But even by herself, Leighanne is absolutely hysterical. She's very self-deprecating, makes fun of herself a lot, and calls herself out for shit, which I absolutely love. She is so much fun to watch. She also struggles with anxiety and mental health issues, which she's also very open about, and has a couple segments on her channel discussing that and different resources and stuff, and what she does to cope with her anxiety. So I absolutely love Leighanne. Don't know what it is with me and the Scottish booktubers, but I have a lot of love for Scotland apparently. Next is Melanie from Mel to the Any. I absolutely love Melanie. Melanie actually has been famous in the book, or has been big in the book community for a long time now. She's really, really big on Goodreads. I think she's like the #2 reviewer on Goodreads, and she's been on Goodreads for a long time, and she was kind of got her groove there. When BookTube became a thing, people were pressuring her a lot and being like, Mel, you need to go get BookTube, blah, 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 you need to go on there. But she didn't want to. She was like, nah, I'm fine where I'm at. She just read a lot. She reads quite a bit, and she does very in-depth reviews. Every book she reads, she takes notes, very extensive notes for her reviews, and so her reviews are very, very in-depth and extensive. And so people are trying to push her to go on BookTube and being like, hey, you can, shift it here and more people will find you. And eventually she did it. And eventually she got her own BookTube channel, and I absolutely adore her. Melanie is half white and half Filipino. I know I believe it's white and Filipino. I know for sure it's Filipino, but I'm pretty sure it's white and Filipino. She talks a lot about what it means to be white passing, to be biracial and to be white passing, and what that means and stuff like that. She's very much an advocate for Filipino writers and stuff like that. Or Asian writers in general, but definitely for Filipino writers. Melanie is also really into ASMR, and any unboxing she does for like Owl Crate and like Fairy Loot, she does it ASMR style, and I absolutely love it. Her ASMR is just my favorite. I absolutely love Melanie. I love listening to her talk. She's really, really, really cute. She also has another channel for BTS, because she's a huge BTS fan. I don't watch that. I don't give a shit about K-pop. I don't understand the appeal of K-pop. Maybe it's because I'm in my mid-30s. I don't know. So the whole phenomenon is like, and that's where I feel old. What are you kids talking about with your K-pop? That's how I feel. Because, I'm elderly and shit over here. But she does have a separate BTS channel, now that I'm off topic, as well. But I absolutely adore Melanie. Melanie's one of those ones where I could listen to her ASMR, just listen to her talk for hours, and I would just be totally calm. I just absolutely love her. And a lot of people got upset because her subscriber count went up really high really fast, and it's because she had that following on Goodreads first and then transitioned over into BookTube. So she's not one to look at as an example of like, oh, I started this year and now I'm already up to 4K subscribers. No, she had that many followers and then some on Goodreads to begin with. So, but I really, really enjoy Melanie, and Melanie reads literally everything. Nonfiction is about the only thing she doesn't really read. She reads a lot of fantasy, adult and young adult. She reads erotica, she reads romance, she reads contemporary, she likes hard-hitting contemporary, she's kind of literary fiction, she reads all over the board, pretty much, so she's always good for that. At least you'll get a variety with Melanie. Next is Merphy from Merphy Napier. Absolutely love Merphy. Merphy reads just about everything under the sun. She really, really, really loves fantasy, but she also reads classics. She's really into classics, so each month she has a classics wrap-up and her regular wrap-up. And she does her vlogs are really tiny. It's like, here's what I'm reading this week, and then a little bit of footage of her and her son doing things, and then this is what I finished this week, this is what I thought, and that's it. Her vlogs are usually like 15 minutes long tops. Her son Drennan is so fucking cute. So cute. And he's in a lot of her vlogs, but I like Merph because just the way she talks, she is very... I like her reviews. She does her reviews very well, and you can tell that she's practiced. She's also an audiobook narrator, so she talks about that on her channel. I just love Merphy. Merphy is one of the first people I found also when I was on Booktube when I first got on, and she's one of my favorites still. Next is Kat from Paperback Dream. I absolutely love Kat. Kat's in her mid-20s, early mid-20s. She's fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, which I adore about her. She's just super crazy kooky all over the place, and I absolutely love her. Watch her videos where she is ranting about specific books that she's read that are like dumpster fires. Hilarious. I liked the video of her reading the Saga graphic novel series for the first time. Her video or her vlog of her reading A Little Life was pretty good. She's all over the place. Like, she's hilarious. Her wrap-ups are really good too. Kat's just Kat. She's like one of those people. I'm filming this. I read this is what I thought. Okay, don't have an outro, bye. That's Kat. She's kind of out there, but I love her. Next is Piera from Piera Ford. I don't know if she's changed her channel name yet. She just recently read the entire Shadowhunters books, and now she's obsessed with the Blackthorns, and she's talking about changing her name. Piera is an Australian booktuber. She's most known, especially now, for doing like the mini movies of Nevernight, the book Nevernight. I think it was like a 4-episode series or whatever that she put on her YouTube channel that actually had production and actors in the whole 9 yards, and she played Mia, and it was really well done. She's talked with Jay Kristoff many times. It was really cool. Piera also, she reads a ton of fantasy, sci-fi. Some of her favorite books, of course, the Nevernight series. She really loves Pierce Brown's, like the Red Rising trilogy, or however many books they're going to be. I really like listening to Piera talk. Her review, she really doesn't give a fuck. She's very much to the point. She just says what's on her mind, and she really doesn't care. And she had a heart issue not too long ago in the last couple of months, and she was very open about that as well. But Piera is very fast talking. This is how it is, and I absolutely love watching her. She's a pistol. She's like watching a Tasmanian devil. No pun intended, because she's from Australia. Next is Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. Another one of us, older girl booktubers over the age of 35. I love watching Sarah. Sarah's got one of those really calming, quiet voices as well. She reads all over the board. I don't think there's anything Sarah won't read. She really likes, she reads regular adult fantasy, YA fantasy, literary fiction, historical fiction, thrillers, horror. She reads everything. Sarah reads just about everything. For somebody who has 700 plus unread books on her TBR, which that just makes me go, oh God. Yeah, Sarah reads all over the place. But I just enjoy watching Sarah because, I don't mean this in a bad way, but she's an adult. Like, she acts like an adult. She speaks like an adult. It's not, I don't know, I feel like I relate to her more because she's in my age group. So I really like watching Sarah for that reason. She's got 2 kids just like I do, that are closer. I think, God, with all the people my age who have kids on Booktube, I think my kids are the oldest. God, I must have started way young. But I think my kids are the oldest. I think Sarah's kids are younger than mine too, but anyways, that doesn't matter. I love watching Sarah. I got a lot of good book recommendations from Sarah. But that girl has too many unread books for me. Like, oh God, it just gives me anxiety. But I like watching her wrap-ups especially, and her vlogs are really fun to watch as well. Next is Steph from Steph Loves, another UK booktuber. Steph is kind of like Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where that girl reads a fuck ton of books every month. She does a lot of audiobooks, a lot of ebooks. She's always reading graphic novels, like, constantly. Steph is very kind. She's one of those people who she'll reach out, like if she thinks that something's going on, she's the first to reach out and ask if you're okay, always say I'm always here. She's just a very, very sweet soul, and I love watching her. She reads a lot of the same things that I do, but she's also very broad in her reading. She reads just about everything, and I like watching people who read all across the board because it makes it more fun. But definitely check Steph out if you haven't already. She's really into, like, I think she's reading a lot of contemporary fiction right now, but she also loves fantasy, and she's all over the board. So, and she's reads so much that she's had to break up her wrap-ups into at least 2 videos a month because it's excessive how much this girl reads. Next is Madi from The Book Pusher. Madi is one of my favorites and one of the first people I found. Madi is, used to live near me. She used to live in Seattle. Like, I live north of Seattle, but she used to at least live in Washington. She now lives in Vegas. Madi doesn't give a fuck. She does a lot of rant reviews and she just doesn't care. And I love that about Madi. Like, she just gets on there and is just like, okay, I'm going to read the entire Twilight series in 24 hours and then I'm going to make this video about how much I hated it as a grown adult. I absolutely love Madi. She's hilarious to watch. And she's kind of been in this funk lately going, I was reading all these really shitty books because that's what everybody else was reading, and I felt like I had to read them, and starting to realize that I don't have to read these books. And, you know, all of us are like, we love your rant reviews. We don't care what you put out. Read what you want to read, and we'll still be here to watch you. But if you like people who are no filter and will do rant reviews on shit they hate, definitely check out Madi. She does, yeah. And a lot of times she drinks while she does it, which makes it even better. Next is Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. I absolutely adore Sam. Sam was another one of the first ones that I found. She's also pretty big. I think Sam is around 10,000 or more, maybe 20. I don't remember. She's also a big channel. Sam reads a lot of fantasy and sci-fi, though now she's starting to dip her toes into contemporary fiction, which I don't really care about contemporary. I found Sam because of her fantasy and sci-fi recs. Sam is she's very put together. That's what I like about her. She's very put together, very organized. The way she films, the way she does her reviews. I mean, she always does her reviews where she'll do a spoiler-free review, and then she'll do like a rant or a gush or a discussion, which will be full of spoilers. And they're two separate videos, so you can do either or. I love the list videos she puts out. Like, she does her top favorite villains, she does her top favorite like couples in fiction. She does stuff like that a lot, which I really enjoy from Sam. I also love watching Sam's vlogs when she does do vlogs, because her dog Tally is the most adorable dog in the entire world, and I just want to cuddle her. But Sam is just one of those ones where I will watch whatever she puts out, because her voice to me is just very soothing, very calming. I don't know, I just like listening to her speak. So definitely check out Sam. Most people know who Thoughts on Tomes is. She created Tome Topple. She used to be part of the Booktube SFF Awards. She created BookNet Fest, like one of the creators of BookNet Fest. She's big on Booktube, but she's also one of my all-time favorites. Next, second to last, but definitely not least, because this is in alphabetical order, is Vicky from Vicky's Book Nook. Vicky, if I had made this list when you had your channel as chapter 32, you would have been closer to the top, but this is alphabetical order. So do I really have to say much about Vicky? Most of you are here because of Vicky. A lot of our subscribers are the same because yeah, she's my booktube best friend. Like, she's the reason I started my channel. I've said this 40 million times. We buddy read something almost every single month. Like, we buddy read something this month and we weren't supposed to. Next month is an official buddy read. We talk all the time. We constantly message each other and check in. Her and I are the same age. She is, oh no, she's older than me now. She's older than me by like 2 months, 3 months. It's not, we're both born the same year, both graduated the same year. Both married, both have 2 kids. My kids are a lot older than hers, but still. So we relate on a whole bunch of levels. We both have very similar reading tastes. We both like a lot of the same things. Grew up in the same era, so her and I just clicked and we bonded, and she's my booktube best friend. When it comes to her actual channel, I like Vicky because she's very soft-spoken, and I love her laugh, and she loves horror, she loves thrillers. She's, the first book we ever read together was Gone with the Wind, which is like one of the biggest historical fictions ever. But so she reads kind of the gamut. She's not into romance. Vicky is not a fantasy reader. It's so funny for her and I being so close, and I'm gotten really into fantasy, and she's really not a fantasy fan. It's kind of funny how that works, but I love her channel. I watch every single video she puts out, every single one. Even if it doesn't pertain to me or it's not necessarily something I would watch, I watch every single one of her videos. But I just love watching her. I love watching her laugh. I like seeing what she feels on certain books, because since our tastes are very similar. If she's reading something that I haven't read yet, how she feels about it weighs heavily on whether or not I'll pick it up or not, because I trust her that much. So, yeah. If for somehow you've been here and you haven't been there, just go subscribe, because you know you're going to do it eventually anyways. And last but not least is I think she's one of the OG booktubers. She's been around forever. And that's Whitney from Witty Novels. I don't know how I didn't find her sooner. I think it was Codie who was like, what do you mean you don't watch Witty Novels? I'm like, huh? And then I found it, and Whitney is one of the funniest human beings on the entire planet. She's like 6'2" plus size, like large and in charge, don't give a fuck. I absolutely love Whitney. I remember there was a group of girls that were like some of the original booktubers that I'd heard about that were like Emma Books, and there was Emma, and then there was a couple other like Haley and oh, what's her name? I can see her face. Clockwork Reader. A whole bunch of them that were all like the original OG, and they had tons and tons of subscribers. And you know, Zoe by Read by Zoe, she hasn't posted anything in like 7 months or something like that, and you know, still has like 100,000 subscribers. Same with Hannah, that's her name, from Clockwork Reader. She hasn't posted in months, and you know, all these really big ones. And I don't know how I never found Whitney, because she was kind of lumped in with that group. I don't even know if she's friends with them, but she was kind of lumped into that group, and I just had never watched her. And Codie was like, you need to go watch Whitney. She is so hilarious. Like, she's one of those ones that's funny without trying to be funny. It's just who she is. Just the way it comes out of her mouth, the way she talks. It's really funny because like when her cat does something, she'll sit there and all out of nowhere, she'll be talking to the camera. Her cat will do something, she'll turn and be like, hello. She's just hilarious. She's so fucking funny. Like, when I found her and I watched one of her videos, I'm like, this girl's one of the funniest fucking girls I've ever seen. I literally went back to the beginning of her channel and watched all of her videos. I ended up loving her that much. If you have not watched Whitney, go watch Whitney just for the sake of it, because she's absolutely hilarious. And now that she's older, she's an adult now, she's got her 2 cats, and they are hilarious. Gordo, her orange cat, has the funniest meow in the entire world, and she talks to her cats constantly. She reads all over the place. Like, when she was younger, she was known mostly for, like, reading YA fantasy, but now she's reading a lot more and kind of diversifying out. And because she kind of made that comment, well, I'm older now. And, you know, she's not that old. She's, like, in her very early 20s, but you know, she's graduated college, she's got her first job with her degree, and like all this stuff, and she's living on her own. And I don't know, I just love Whitney. Whitney brings me joy, and I love watching her just because she makes me laugh. And you know, I love watching her cats, but she's just fucking hilarious. Like, and she puts little edits in her videos, like of memes and sounds and stuff that make it that much more fun. If you haven't checked out Whitney, which I don't know how you haven't heard of her, she's got a ton of subscribers, go check her out. Okay guys, that's it. I've been filming for 45 minutes and I need to be done now. Vicky was better at this than me, and she was a lot more concise because, you know, she went to college longer than I did, and she's way more concise than I am when it comes to speaking. And I'm not, and I babble a lot. So I need to trim this down because I don't really want to post, you know, a 40-minute video when I'm just talking about other people and repeating myself a lot and babbling a lot. And now I'm babbling again, so I'm gonna go. If I will link everybody in the description down below. Hopefully you'll find some new people you love. If you've got any suggestions of people that you love, please leave them in the comments down below. But these were like my 27 ones. These are all auto watch. I watch every single thing these people post. So if there's any ones that you guys love that you think I need to check out, I'm always open for adding to my sub box. So please comment down below, let me know who your favorites are, and I will see you guys sometime soon, hopefully.